Trump yelled at Netanyahu. In Ghana, 2 ministers died in what appears to be a tragic incident. Ahead of the World Cup, the US is producing more bullets than tourists. Trump and Putin are ready to meet each other. Trump revealed what he spends his salary on. Now, get to know the news in more detail.
Trump reportedly yelled at Netanyahu. U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly shouted at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during a phone call about the situation in Gaza, expressing his distrust. This was reported by NBC News, citing White House officials. According to the report, Trump and Netanyahu had a tense phone conversation in late July regarding the crisis in Gaza. During the call, Netanyahu told Trump that the reports of starvation in Gaza were false and part of a narrative pushed by Hamas. At that point, Trump interrupted him and loudly said he didn't believe him. "I don't want to hear any fake statements about starvation. My aides have shown me evidence that children in Gaza are suffering from hunger," Trump reportedly said. Just a day before the call, Netanyahu had publicly stated that there is no policy of starvation in Gaza and there is no hunger there. At the time, Trump responded by saying, "I don't really believe what he's saying." However, Israeli officials have denied the claim that Trump yelled at Netanyahu. In a statement, the Israeli government said the conversation between the two leaders was conducted without any unpleasant incidents.
2 Ghanaian ministers die in tragic helicopter crash. Ghana's Minister of Defense, Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah, was killed in a tragic helicopter crash on the morning of August 6th, according to GhanaWeb. The helicopter, which was carrying a crew of 3 and 5 passengers, crashed and caught fire in a forested area near Adansi Sikaman in the Ashanti region. The Ghana Armed Forces reported that the Z-9 military aircraft had taken off from Accra at 9:12 a.m., headed toward Obuasi. All 8 people on board were confirmed dead, including Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah, Minister of Defense Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, MP for Tamale Central Muniru Mohammed, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator Samuel Sarpong, Deputy Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Samuel Abowagye, former parliamentary candidate Squadron Leader Peter Pilot Officer Twum Ampadu, Sergeant Ernest Addo. Who was Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah? Before his untimely death, Dr. Boamah served as Ghana's Minister of Defense and was a senior member of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. He had a long and distinguished career in both politics and medicine. He previously held roles as Minister of Communications Presidential Spokesperson under President John Dramani Mahama, Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports under President John Evans Atta Mills, Deputy Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, 2009 to 2012. Boamah led investigations into major environmental incidents involving companies such as Cosmos Energy and Newmont Ghana Gold Limited. As Minister of Communications, he pushed for child online protection and helped establish Ghana's National Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, and a national policy framework for digital safety. A medical doctor by profession, Dr. Boamah studied at the University of Ghana Medical School, then earned a master's degree in health policy, planning, and financing from both the London School of Economics and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. In his student years, he served as President of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, Coordinator of the Federation of Ghanaian Medical Students Associations, FGMSA. He also participated in WHO-led vaccination monitoring programs in 2004 and in rescue operations during the May 9, 2001 Accra Stadium disaster, where over 120 people died. U.S. plans to charge tourists. More ahead of World Cup and Olympics, the U.S. is planning to introduce an additional $250 visa fee for international visitors, as outlined in a new federal spending bill. The move could significantly reduce the number of tourists coming to the country, Axios reports. This fee would come on top of the existing $185 visa processing cost, meaning many travelers may have to pay a total of $435 just to enter the U.S. Industry leaders are warning that the timing couldn't be worse. With major international events like the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Summer Olympics approaching, these events are expected to attract millions of global visitors. According to Jeff Freeman, president of the U.S. Travel Association, the policy feels like the government is taking money out of tourists' pockets. money that could have been spent supporting local businesses inside the U.S., he warned that many travelers may now choose countries with easier and cheaper visa processes instead. The association also noted that international travel to the U.S. is already declining, down 5% in June 2025, down nearly 3% in the first half of 2025, compared to the same period in 2024. The State Department estimates that between 2025 and 2034, more than 120 million visas will be issued, generating about $29 billion in revenue for the U.S. government. This new $250 surcharge is not a replacement, but rather an addition to existing visa fees. In a related move, the U.S. has also launched a pilot program requiring a refundable security bond of up to $15,000 for certain foreign nationals applying for B-1 business or B-2 tourist visas. The policy targets citizens of countries with high rates of overstaying their visa terms. The bond is fully refundable if the traveler leaves the U.S. on time. Trump and Putin are ready to meet, says White House. Russian President Vladimir Putin has told U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff that he's ready to meet with former President Donald Trump, according to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Leavitt confirmed that Trump is also open to meeting not only with Putin, but also with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. She described the likelihood of a Trump-Putin meeting as very high. As President Trump said today on Truth Social, the meeting between Special Envoy Witkoff and President Putin was highly productive. The Russian side expressed a desire to meet with President Trump, and Trump made it clear he's ready to meet with both President Putin and President Zelensky, said Leavitt. Trump posted on Truth Social that Witkoff's meeting with Putin in Moscow was very effective, adding, "Great outcome. At the end of the talks, I was briefed about some of our European allies. Everyone agrees. This war must end, and we expect that to happen in the coming days and weeks." According to the New York Times, citing two sources familiar with the situation, Trump is actively planning personal meetings with both Putin and Zelensky. After Witkoff's visit to Moscow, Trump reportedly brought up the idea of such meetings during recent talks with European leaders. The plan, according to the report, is to first meet with Putin next week, then follow up with a three-way summit involving Zelensky as well. Ukrainian President Zelensky also commented on his recent phone call with Trump, writing on his Telegram channel, "While leaving our brigades in Sumy region, I spoke with President Trump." This conversation took place after his envoy Stephen Witkoff visited Moscow. "Our position with partners is clear. The war must end, and it must end justly." Several European leaders also joined the call, and I thank each of them for their support. We discussed the announcements made in Moscow. Reportedly, the negotiations involved UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. Trump says he donates his salary and explains where the money goes. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has said he is virtually the only president who donates his entire salary. In a recent post on his Truth Social account, Trump shared details about how he spends the money he earns as president. He wrote that he is proud to be the only president, besides George Washington, to give away his salary. "My very first paycheck went to the White House Historical Association to help restore the beautiful People's House," Trump said. He also claimed that under his leadership, the White House has undergone the largest renovation and beautification project since its founding. Trump's comments may be related to recent rumors about a new ballroom being built at the White House. Videos had surfaced on social media showing Trump walking on the roof of the White House, reportedly reviewing reconstruction plans. Reports suggested that private donors were planning to fund the construction of a $200 million ballroom intended to host large formal events. According to Trump's press secretary Caroline Leavitt, the construction is expected to begin in September this year and will be completed well before the end of Trump's current term.
Thank you for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fastest News channel and leave your thoughts in the comments.